Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
I'm Tracey.
I'm Josie and the Pussycat.
And we are my
Outlander
Purgatory. What's up?
What's up?
So, episode 3 of Outlander is in the books. What's tonight called? Wait, I'm kind of looking at it now.
I was wondering the same thing and I didn't.
It seems to be frozen on my screen. I don't remember what it's called. I thought they say the title of it at the beginning, but maybe they don't, but we'll figure it out. So it's in the books. Another really good episode. Very different than... I think the previous two have been very much by the book, so to speak.
Yes, but think about it. Aren't they different directors?
Yes, but, I think the more pertinent part is... Oh, it's called The Way Out. Okay. I think the more relevant part is that they're different writers, which took very different paths of adaptation. You know, Ron Moore was really very parallel with the book. This took some interesting turns, but before we talk about this week, and I told you about this already, I want to talk about one thing from last week that we just kind of realized. What?
Did we miss something?
We missed something. We missed something big that I didn't even realize until after we had done the video. And it had to do with last week's episode with the beating. In the books, you know, it goes down pretty much. Leary comes in with her dad. Her dad's all she's all slutty and Laird, punish her good. And Colum's like, okay, whatever. And Jamie steps up and offers to do it by fist, whatever. But here's the thing. Colum's how in Game of Thrones, Joffrey always had the Hound, right? That was his fist or his, whatever. Colum's man was Angus. So Angus would be sort of by his side. So Angus steps up because he's sort of Colum's, he's Colum's physical presence, and he does the beating. And what we found out after we did, so we just assumed it was Colum because, okay, this is a real problem, people. I've watched 3 episodes of this show now. I cannot tell Rupert, Angus, and Murtagh apart. I can't do it. Carol, can you? Is it just me?
I can now, yes, I can now.
All right.
Tonight's episode, completely scrutinizing it, yes, I can now.
And I will say that I did not watch this episode, sitting in front of the TV, watching it. I actually watched it. I was I was packing and stuff like that, so I wasn't sat right there. I kind of I was listening and I had one eye on it and I knew what was going on. All right. So maybe next week I will focus harder, but it's really hard. Was it the same guy with Claire all the time? Was it always Rupert?
Rupert's with Claire. Angus beat Jamie, and Murtagh, the only time I really remember seeing much of him at all was tonight's episode at the dinner.
But Angus did not beat Jamie. That's what I'm saying.
If Angus didn't beat Jamie, if you're 1,000% sure it was Rupert, then Angus is following Claire around and Rupert beat Jamie. They are not the same person. Miss, I was packing.
Carol, I'm telling you right now, Rupert, there was a big controversy about that. I've read a bunch of I've listened to a bunch of the podcasts this week, read some of the blogs, whatever. It was Rupert. They changed it.
Okay, I don't care who's who. I'm just saying, whoever beat Jamie last week is not following her around.
Okay.
And you will see that when you rewatch tonight's, because they're sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
In the kitchen.
I know, I was watching that part, and I was I couldn't tell you who's who. I couldn't even if I tried. Couldn't even tell you who's who.
I hate to say it, I don't really care. Not that I don't care, I mean, I loved Rupert in the books, but if they're being changed and, Alex not as much...
Well, all right, here's the thing. See, this is... But wait. The point I was going to make is we know it's going to be different, and I welcome the changes. Like, I'm really interested to see how they're going to make adaptations, and I'm looking forward to that. But everybody is going to have their own personal thing of, oh, really? They changed that? Or, I don't get that change. Like, you were the one, like, take the lassie off my chest. You were bummed that that line wasn't in there. You were. You were. For me, somehow, some way, for some reason, this change has stuck in my craw and kind of bugged me. And here's why. Because I could totally get it. I totally see if they, like, cut the part of Angus and, like, you know, make Rupert Colum's man. That's great. Totally get it. But, like, Angus is there. He's the one holding Leary back. Like, so why switch it? I don't get it. I don't get it. I assume it will play out in some way, shape, or form later down the road. It just, to me, because of, and again, I'm not really spoiling anything, but, you know, we get to know Rupert. I don't know.
Tracey.
What?
Is there an Outlander wiki?
Probably.
Look it up. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to mess with my I don't want to mess with anything if I'm the one to.
Well, I don't want to like talk about this for like all night, you know. But I just like for me that change is weird. I don't get it. It kind of makes no sense to me, and it just.
It's logistics. We've seen 3 episodes.
No, but it's more of what it represents. Again, remember, Angus is Colum's man. Rupert is Dougal's man. So all of a sudden, and the reason in the book that Angus doles out the punishment is because it's Colum's punishment. Is all of a sudden like it's become Dougal's punishment? Like, clearly, with the whole, like, Karate Kid sensei, no sensei, sweep the legs part of it, there's, like, a dynamic between Dougal and Rupert doesn't want to do it, and Dougal's looking at him like, sweep the leg, and Rupert's like, as we talked about, like, last week, like, you know, but sensei, no. And Dougal's like, and clearly that's all about, like, Dougal showing Jamie who's boss. I'm just like, when did Dougal get to be in charge of showing Jamie who's boss? Isn't that Colum's job? Like, it just, that whole switch just bugged me. And I, whatever. There you go.
I think it, again, has to do with logistics and the eye, what the eye sees, and what the non-fans have to understand and have to learn. And that's why Claire's doing a lot of narrating, so that they have a clue.
You were talking about that,
what,
too.
Why and how. It has to do with you have to sacrifice once it goes to screen.
I get that. I totally get that.
But you haven't seen future episodes.
Right.
We don't know what's coming down the
Right. And maybe somewhere down the line, maybe they'll want, like, Jamie and Rupert to have some sort of scene that reflecting back. Maybe there's a reason for the change. I will wait and see, as Diana says. I forget how to say it in Gaelic, but there's a way to say it in Gaelic that means wait and see. But it just didn't seem to me, like, I can't figure out why they made that change. I can pretty much trace the trail of every other change they've made, and it works really well. There's a change tonight that I love.
Okay, can I say something?
What?
Why are we even going to think about it now after only 3 episodes?
Because it bugs me. That's why I said, like, everyone's going to have their own personal thing of, like, this stuck in my craw. It just was, like, a weird thing to me. But anyway, it was last week. I just had to get it out there because we, like, didn't even realize it. Because, again, Rupert, Angus, and Murtagh all need to have, like, T-shirts that say, Rupert, Angus, Murtagh. Or they need to have, like, different colored hats or something. Because, I'm sorry, I'm just lost. I'm lost.
I don't really care. It doesn't faze me. It doesn't bother me.
But don't negate, you know, me caring. But whatever. It's all good.
I'm just negating you caring.
You're like, well, I don't really care. All right, you don't really care. Okay.
You've been giving yours for 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, shut up.
I'm now giving my opinion, which was Tracey cares a lot. I don't care at all.
All right, I do want to be able to tell the difference between them. All right, so anyway, what I already forget the name of this episode. One Way Home, Find My Way Home, whatever. All right. So the episode opens. The episode opens with cute as a button scene of Frank and Claire. Like, I know, right?
Who would have thunk it? Who would have thought that I would feel so bad for Frank? And that I would, after 8 books, be still sitting here going, maybe she'll get back. I'm trying to figure out a way to get her back to Frank. It's awful.
Do you like Frank while man in uniform?
Oh, and he's all worried about her, but he's all like, he doesn't want to say, like, he has this quiet reserve where he's just, on the inside, he's a mess, but on the outside, he's Frank.
Oh, he's Frank. He's Frank. But, no, that scene was very cute. It's very nice. They both, like, look really, you know, military and whatever. I like that scene a lot.
Yeah, she looks cute in her little hat.
She does look cute in her little hat. Like, her little, like, yes, that was totally cute. What did I just do? So,
then, are you going to say anything more about that scene?
No, but I just thought it was very cute.
I was going to say, and then we move on to Claire taking the ice challenge.
Yes, then Claire takes the ice bucket challenge. And FYI, she challenges Jamie, Dougal, and Colum.
And Pocket Jamie. Alright, so anyway, I knew it was a dream.
I knew it was a dream. Oh, come on.
From the second it started.
I knew it was a dream from when they showed it in the previews last week. I was like, yeah, no.
Even the way she told her
yeah.
was not...
Yes.
She wouldn't have told
I
her
seem
like
to
that.
have fallen through time. You know? No. I mean, clearly it was a dream from, like, you know, the second one, but,
Yeah, totally.
yeah.
It didn't even faze me. It was cool to watch, though.
It's kind of cool. I mean, I guess it was a little foreshadowy about, like, tonight's episode is going to be all about the devil. Just in case. But it was kind of funny. Yeah, it was fun. But yeah, you knew it was a dream in like 2 seconds. So she like stops dreaming and like comes to. And what's Mrs. Fitz talking about?
The Gathering.
Oh, Lord, the Gathering. Lord, the Gathering.
The Gathering already.
That's probably next week, actually. I bet you that's next week.
Oh, it is.
I bet you it's next week, yeah.
It totally is.
Yeah.
You know how I know?
How do you know?
Well, first of all, duh, we've led up to it, but Diana Gabaldon's in the 4th episode, and we knew she was in that episode pretty much, didn't we?
We knew she's in the 4th episode, but did we know she was in the Gathering episode?
Maybe I just sort of surmised from like her being all dressed, and I remember all the people milling about in the photos.
Right.
So I don't know if I assumed that or they said it at some point, but I just assumed that was the one she was going to be in.
Right. So they talk about the Gathering, and what happens next? Oh, she's in her surgery, and she's like looking around for things that, you know, might help people. This episode, to quote the lovely Carrie Bradshaw, I couldn't help but wonder: are we over the voiceover? Let's discuss.
In a review the first week, somebody said, like, "Oh, please, narrating really?" Like, yeah.
Yeah, there was a good amount of voiceover in this episode, and
it's for the non-fans; they have to do it.
Yeah, but even some of the stuff I think could have been like blended into lines. You know, I don't know. It was a little much. It was a little excessive this week.
You know, I just have to say it is so not for me to say what they could have done and should have done, and what they should cut and what they should keep, and what we should hear versus see. It's.
I actually, you know, I've been listening to this podcast. I've been listening to a bunch of podcasts. This week, for some reason, I've been doing a lot of driving or whatever. And so, of course, the Outlander podcast with Summer and Ginger, who are awesome, and I love their podcast. But I found another one that I'm going to recommend, and it's called The Scot and the Sassenach. I don't remember the name of the Scot or the Sassenach, just that that's what they call themselves. But it's a really, really interesting podcast. Very, like, looks at it from, like, a more, sort of a literary angle, but, like, in a really hilarious way. Like, they're very funny. And, they talked a lot about the voiceover and how they just, I don't despise the voiceover. They loathe the voiceover. They're like, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. It sucks, sucks, sucks. I don't feel that way, but there were moments.
I don't know why, but I sort of have had in my head that we're not always going to have that.
I mean, I would kind of expect that, but then that's probably why I noticed it, because it's by episode 3, she's in the castle. Like, clearly we know all the major characters, except we can't tell Murtagh and Rupert and Angus apart. But we know who everybody is at this point. So so maybe it felt more to me. I don't know. But, still good, whatever. All right, so Claire, like...
Move on to the...
Claire knew that she had to become acclimatized. So she started thinking, perhaps, like, if she worked with some of the town folk and, like, helped their ailments, then she could...
and, like, drank a lot.
Oh, my God.
Showed up and drank.
All right, well, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So, all right, so what happens next?
All right, so she goes to the...
She's in the kitchens. She's in the kitchens, right?
God, you're crawling. I don't even care about that scene.
Well, no, because it's a plot point, because they find out that, like, the little kid of the chambermaid died because the devil got him. The devil got him.
What?
The devil got him. What? So they're all like, and everybody's all like, yeah, the devil sucks, whatever. So Claire, of course.
Stupid question.
What?
I have a really stupid question.
What?
Is this in the books?
About the devil?
No, but the kid.
No, but now this is a change I totally get.
Love it.
I totally get. This whole episode of little Tommy is, okay, this is a spoiler from the book, but...
Oh, Tracey.
What?
Don't do it to me.
What?
Spoilers.
No. I'm just saying, this is a spoiler, people, so I'll give you the sign. I'll give you the devil horns sign when you can come back. No, it's not even a big spoiler. This is clearly a scene. You know how Claire finds the changeling? Mm-hmm. Like she and Geillis come up against the, they find the changeling in the woods, and Claire's like, we can't leave the baby there. And so she goes back. I forget if she goes back with Jamie or like she goes back and Jamie finds her. But that's all like representational of like, a lot of people believe in the devil and they believe of possessions and blah, 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 blah. This whole episode sort of addressed that without doing the changeling. For whatever reason, they decided not to like go that route. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, no, you're right. This whole like Father Bane goes to do an exorcism is not in the book.
What a dick!
I know, right?
He's awesome because he's awful.
I know, he was totally awful.
He is like.
But we'll get to him.
And you're gonna see him like.
All right, hold on. Come back. All right, no spoilers anymore.
Hang on. I want to say something about this guy, or do you want me to go back? No.
Well, this isn't a spoiler, is it? Because he's not really even in the books that much.
Oh my God.
He's a little bit, and he's douchey.
He's so awful, and I keep expecting him to like see him in bed with somebody at some point. Okay, so moving on from there.
Right.
Because I'm just following like stuff that I had written down.
Damn it.
So she shows up as, she goes to Colums.
Oh, yeah. That was a great scene. That was a great scene. I have that on now.
You see the legs again. The legs are, like, so impressive. I don't know what to do with myself.
Well, how about Colum and the tailor?
That was really awesome.
I was like, okay, remember last week when I said that Claire could totally take him? I don't think so anymore.
Oh, my God.
I think Colum would beat the shit out of her.
How about Colum's rear end? Right there in the face.
Okay. Here's what I was thinking. I was like...
And all I could think was, how did he get the rear end and the CGI legs?
I know. That was some good... Damn, if that wasn't like half their CGI budget right there. Because that was some good work. That was some really good work. I mean, like, clearly it was like the very tops of his legs, and then they CGI'd the bottom. No, here's what I thought. I was like, when Claire starts kneading, like, you know, right there, but it wasn't, like, the shot was just hands. I was like, okay, I want to know if those are Katrina's hands. Or if they've got, like, some stunt hands waiting around with the stunt back.
Stunt spine meter.
Oh, true that. No, it was, because I think, did you see a straight shot of his butt, like, with him connected to it? Maybe it was all stunt work. I don't know. But yeah, I was like, ooh, Gary Lewis, I bet you didn't think you were going to have to get naked before Jamie did.
I was wondering what else she was going to tell him. Yeah.
And well, how about the best part was like, you know, so she goes in, she sees this big fight with the tailor. She's like, okay, I'm a little scared now. And then he's like this. Oh, Mr. Speechum. And he starts, like, unbuckling his pants. And she's all like, okay, after that little display, I'm really scared now.
So he invites her to the Great Hall.
Right.
So she shows up, and I love how at the end of last week, she's like, you meet on your prisoner, don't you? And he's like, oh, really?
Yes, but Carol, as she told us, I knew I had to suck up to Colum and Dougal if I ever expected to get out of here.
But he's like, only if you try to leave. But then in this episode, right away, she's like, hey.
Hey, girlfriend Leary, what's up? I'm on my third reddish.
I mean, to Colum. She walks in. Oh my gosh, I'm like Claire in the show with all of her undergarments. Mine. She walks in and Colum's sitting there with his wife, and he, you know, gives Claire one of these or whatever, and Claire's like, last week he was, you know, locking her in, and this week she's rubbing his bum.
No, that was great. That was great.
Sitting down with, I can't say Leary, I have to say Leghair. Sitting down with Leghair, and she's all like,
girlfriend, what's up?
And that was very interesting, and that was a little different from the book, at least in my brain. It was different from the way I perceived the book, because at no time in that scene did Leghair seem bitchy or with an agenda, or she just seemed like a sweet girl who has a little crush on Jamie, but she's too young for him.
Oh, but I gotta say, I felt really bad for Leary. I mean, what is this world coming to? I'm like feeling bad for Frank at the beginning, and now I'm feeling bad for Leghair. Because she was just so, like, you know, throwing shit at the wall just to see what was going to stick. And Jamie's like, that's so Claire. What?
Like,
so Claire.
I was just telling Leghair how fantastic she looks tonight. And Jamie's all, yeah, she's bonny. And I was like, I did feel bad. In the book, I remember kind of feeling like one-upping her, because I felt like Leghair was a bitch then, but...
I know, no, I did. I felt, I'm watching this now. Like, she's all like... Well, but the thing is, and this is sort of a global observation, I guess. Do you think that, and I'm going to try not to make this spoilery, do you think TV Jamie, do you think TV, it's clearer, do you think TV Jamie has more of a crush on Claire at this point than book Jamie does?
No.
Or does TV Jamie seem more into Claire at this point than book Jamie does?
No.
I kind of do, but there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is that we see book Jamie through Claire's eyes. So Claire's not, I mean, book Jamie could be like this, and we would not know it because Claire, yeah.
I'm going to call this Midnight Sun Syndrome. Because all y'all are seeing what we didn't see while we were reading.
Right, exactly.
And we know if you have not read The Exile, what are you waiting for?
I know. I got to reread The Exile.
The Exile is the midnight sun of Outlander. Mm-hmm. And you know what's going through Jamie's mind.
Yeah.
So you know as the reader that I mean, well, I don't want to jump ahead, but the conversation with Murtagh we will get to.
Right.
That's when you just know. Oh, God.
Anyway. Because question, when Claire sits down and she's like, yo, girlfriend, I'm Claire, what's up? And Leary's like, and then they see Jamie and she's like, and Claire's like, oh, yes, Mr. McTavish, she's quite the fine figure. And Leary's like, yeah, he's not into me. He's just not that into me.
But
like,
Claire,
I don't, does she say that?
Don't you worry, girlfriend, I'm going to get this going on. You just sit back, relax, and
let Nurse Beecham do all the work. But no, I don't know if that was like a dig to Claire or just Leary being like, oh, I've been trying so hard and he just won't look at me. I couldn't really, I mean, it was played really well because you couldn't tell either way.
Did you notice an age/mathematical discrepancy? He was like, oh, you were only 7 or 8 years old last time I was here. But technically, he's supposed, at least in the book at this point, he's 22. And he said he was here when he was 16.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that was 6 years ago, and she's 16. So she should have been 10, not 7 or 8.
I don't think he, like, really noticed. He was just like, yeah, you were probably, like, whatever.
I noticed it, but it didn't bother me because, again, they can't do everything the same way, so I moved on. It didn't.
Right. But I don't.
There are things that you're going to notice and go, wait a minute, oh, whatever.
But did it kill it? Like, I really felt for her when he was like, as a young buck of 16, like, what would I care? With like a bunch of, wet behind the ears, dirty diaper, like little
snotnosed.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that hurt. And then the best, because they just did it, was when like Claire's all like, oh, I can't drink any more of this, Jamie. Will you drink it for me? And he's like, tosses it back, hands her the glass. And that does happen in the book. He hands her the glass, is like, yeah, put this away, sweetheart. I really felt for her.
I loved when she's like, I've had 2 or maybe 3. And I'm thinking of the owl and how many licks does it take to get the bottom?
Oh my God. So, I gotta say, like, I mean, I don't think you feel as bad for her because in the book, but like, I really did. I felt for her. I felt for her. I was like, oh, Jamie, don't be so mean.
I felt for her for like a minute, and then I moved on.
Yeah. Because then we had that really nice scene with Jamie and Claire where Jamie was like, yeah, no, I didn't really want you to tend to me. I just wanted to, like, walk you back to your room.
Yeah.
Can I come in for a nightcap? Wait, no. Except he walked her back to the surgery. Like,
what?
Is she sleeping in the surgery?
That's what I was wondering, too.
I know. Like,
and I was like, is someone going to put all these candles out? Where's your little woman? You must have a chambermaid or something.
Yeah,
Dresses you.
Do they make her stay in the surgery?
I don't know, but he walked her to the surgery. But that doesn't make any sense because when she got her bath, Mrs. Fitz didn't have her in the surgery. So I don't really know. But who cares? Again, it's...
Oh, I know. I just said, like, I
have to tell you that my notes for that scene are in all caps.
All right, what are they?
It says, Jesus H. Roosevelt Christ. Jamie effing hot-ass Frazier. this scene in the surgery is too much for me to handle. How am I supposed to handle the wedding night? Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler. But we're done. So come back. Devil horns, come back.
Tracey, but you did that after I said it. What are we gonna do if
I don't know. I'm sorry. Now you'll see what a pain in the ass it is to put all those if you really try to do the spoiler alerts. Oh my God.
Do you have any idea how long it took me to get my last blog post with photos and editing? I know.
But we do it for them. We do it for you.
Why do you think I am so terrified right now?
I don't know. But all right, so we have this little scene in the surgery. They're very cute, and then Claire's like, "Wait a minute! I've had 3 renishes, and I've had and that's enough. I'm just a little drunk. Let me look at that wound of yours." I thought for some reason, I wonder if we're going to see his scar.
Right? Good point.
I know. I thought maybe she would notice it, and we'd get another story of Blackjack.
And once again, here we go with a little wound that I have no problem looking at. First episode, the shoulder was all right. I was looking right at it, and now that disgusting scab, looking right at it.
This part is on right now. I'm sorry. He is like looking at her, like he
wants to eat it. That's why I have all caps. Are you kidding?
He is looking at her.
Let me make a statement.
Yes.
Okay?
Go ahead.
I believe the last time I gushed over Sam Heughan was when he got cast. And I believe I looked like Josie and the Pussycats that day.
I know. Well, I believe that happened, we were videoing about it within 5 minutes.
And honest to God, I really have not gushed since, other than, as an actor, he's cute and all that kind of stuff. Because I'd never really seen him in anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to tell you, he has got it down. He is Jamie Fraser.
I know.
I watched this and I'm like, this is mind-blowing.
I know.
Just how I giggle. I mean, it's amazing to me how he has gotten inside the brain of Jamie Fraser.
He is. I mean, he's perfect. He's perfect. He's perfect.
Just the humor. The humor is totally what does it.
It's like I just keep going back to this glass half full attitude, and he's always going to see the positive. He's always going to see the good. He's always going to see he doesn't want you to feel uncomfortable. It's what he said. Sort of, he doesn't want to make people feel uncomfortable about what he's been through.
Right.
And he doesn't want them to be all weirded out and weird to him. But Claire didn't do that. So, he respects that of her.
Right. Okay, let's move on.
So, all right. So, they're at the next scene is when she's meeting up with Geillis. And I got to say a couple things. The photography in this scene is awesome. They show, the little flowers, a couple little shots of flowers that are just so beautiful. And then Claire is wearing this, cowl thingy, and she wears it a bunch of times.
And all I could think of was, those are popular now.
Seriously? Starz, if you're not selling that thingy.
Claire has an infinity scarf.
If you're not selling that thingy, okay. Which one of them is guarding Claire now? Is it Angus or Rupert?
I don't have it on.
I have it on right now, so I'm looking. That scarf is fabulous. That scarf is fabulous, and I want one.
And speaking of another silly comment about clothing, I don't know why it struck me, but the boots on Jamie with the kilt,
mm-hmm.
I even wrote it down. I don't think I ever pictured him in boots. He's got those big.
No, I kind of did, I think. I kind of pictured it.
Love that.
Yeah. All right, so they are, looking for herbs or whatever, and this is where they get into the whole, the boy is possessed. Oh, you mean you don't believe in the demonic possession, Claire?
Boy, is she reaching or what?
I know. So, oh my God, I love that cowl so much, I can't even stand it. Oh my God. I want to learn to knit just to make myself one of those. Oh yes, it's fabulous. So they're talking, demonic possession, whatever, and Geillis is like, I want to call her Geillis, and it's Geillis, clearly.
I know. She calls her Geillis.
Well, they all call her Geillis, because that's how you say her name, I guess. So she's all like, I'm not touching that kid with a 10-foot pole, and neither should you. So, of course, Claire's like, wing! Like, off at Eric Lightning, Bill Compton lightning speed, off to the kid to go save him.
Did you hear that?
What? It's Jamie, I know that.
Okay, sorry.
You just had to see it again. And Rupert / Angus, because I don't know who it is, it's the one with the blue cap, if that helps, is all like, where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going now? No, Colum doesn't want you to do this. My accent is bad. So he's like running after her. And she goes to the house where Tommy is, possessed by the devil and lying in bed. And then this is where Father Bane comes and tries to do the exorcism, and tries all the, power of Christ compels you kind of stuff. The power of Christ compels you! And Claire's all like, really?
Is this the first time, are we talking, or the second time?
This is the first time where they have little Tommy strapped down.
Okay.
Like Linda Blair.
Poor little Tommy.
Yeah, they should have brought in Linda Blair for this. Anywho.
I found that scene upsetting because she can't do anything and she just has to leave and swallow it for now, and yeah.
I'm just noticing now her she has these they're not gloves, but they're not fingerless. They're like handless gloves. They're like little sleevey things that you pull on. I just want all of her winter wear.
I am appreciating your love of her winter.
Oh my God!
We
all
need
right,
to move this
okay. It's awesome. Okay, all right. So little Tommy, she can't save him. She can't do anything with him. Whatever. Okay, so I do believe that this is the part where she's sitting in the kitchen. Angus / Rupert is going to go get her some bottle of something.
The one I thought was Rupert.
I don't know. They're just they're the same guy now to me.
Here it comes.
And here it comes. She's sitting around. All of a sudden, what does she see out of the corner of her eye? Oh, it's Leary. And she's pulling Jamie in, and
loving up
bada bing, bada boom.
Yes.
And
what about that scene?
It went down about how I imagined it, I would say. But that was pretty good. What do you think?
I pictured her in a remote part of the castle. I pictured that to be coming up the stairs, the rounded stairs in a turret, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And right as you get off the stairs, this little alcove would be there. I pictured it sort of in the turret.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't there a screen, a curtain?
Yeah.
And I pictured her sort of looking in, seeing, I really thought they'd do it that way. I really thought you'd see, not that I care, really thought you'd see her sort of peering into, it's always funny when they do that on TV, or in the movies, when you see somebody sort of looking at somebody, through a curtain, through an opening in a curtain, and they always have to stare a little bit too long, and I always think, God, if that was real life, I would go, whoa, and keep going. And I really thought they'd do it that way, but they didn't. They just walked in, started making out, and that was that.
I think the biggest difference for me was I didn't get the sense, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, but it's not really that big a deal. It's just a difference in the books. I didn't get a sense that she was as that her mood was as bummed going into it. It was sort of she's sitting there and she's really upset because she's just so frustrated by these people and their devil believing ways. And then she sees. I always felt her thing was more she walks in and she's like, whoa, seeing too much there, Jamie. kidding. Oh. Whereas this was like, I'm so bummed. I'm like, ugh, really? Like that kind of thing,
So I thought your reaction just now was more of what I read it as. Whereas,
maybe I need to go back and read it again. Maybe I'm just not remembering it right.
I remember her sort of being like, oh, like really? Like not but like what else is gonna, you know what I mean, happen?
Like this day, could this day suck anymore?
She seemed very kind of amused by it.
I need to. Well, I mean, she's amused like after at dinner. Yeah, but I don't. I have to reread it and see. But
that scene.
But I love the dinner.
Murtagh,
so good.
When he moves over into Jamie's place when Jamie gets up, loved the toe, loved the footsie under the table.
Yep, all good.
Loved her kicking and the drink going out. Loved the whole thing, and I loved Murtagh having like a fatherly talk with her about the whole thing.
Well, okay, and we need to talk about this because this is an example of a change. What I was saying before, like a change that I just didn't get with the whole Angus and Rupert thing. This is an example of a change because I don't know if you remember this. This was okay. Spoiler. I'm gonna go there and say like spoiler. This is Alec in the book. In the book, Alec clearly has a much bigger role in the book. They've made his role like next to nothing.
Right.
But I love and I miss Alec because I like Alec. I like that character. Right. And I liked this little, bit that he had, whatever. But I can't even tell you how much I love that they made it to be Murtagh instead. I'm like, of course.
Well, because he's sort
it's
of like Jamie's
perfect.
father.
Yes, it's the perfect thing for Murtagh to say. Right. It's the perfect thing, and this is really a spoiler. Sorry, people. And Murtagh knows how Jamie feels about her at this point. Even at this point, I believe from the exile, right?
Murtagh, totally.
Murtagh knows.
Wait a minute. This is a sick spoiler. When did they have the conversation where Jamie told Murtagh, I want her, I've never wanted anyone so bad in my life?
I don't remember if it's before or after this, but...
I thought it was before the wedding.
No, because that would be like, I got her, dude, yo. No, I think it's before...
No, it was when they started discussing the fact that Jamie had to marry him, or was it they had to marry Claire? It was that they had to marry Claire.
Yeah.
And so they started discussing that, and he wanted it to be him because, and that's when he shared with Murtagh. I'm sitting here going, oh my God, why do they have to get married?
Okay, I don't remember, but I mean, Murtagh would know. Murtagh has, he knows Jamie really well. And I think he would know in a way that Alec wouldn't know. It almost makes, this is one of these things that makes more sense the way they did it on TV than in the books. Because Murtagh would get it. Murtagh would know. Right. And Murtagh would be the one to say, like, Jamie doesn't need a lass. He needs, like, a woman,
This is easy enough to check because it's in the exile.
It's in the exile, but whether or not Jamie had said anything at that point, it is like, it's a great change. I loved everything about that scene, everything about that change. That was a fabulous idea to make it Murtagh instead of Alec. Alec, I'm sorry. I do miss you. You got some lovely parting gifts, but I'm sorry.
And I have the same question that I had when I read it, and I know it's been answered by Diana Gabaldon, and yet was he trying to make her jealous?
Jamie?
Yeah, like he sees Claire there. Wouldn't the natural reaction if you did Claire, if you're just messing around, and then you see Claire, wouldn't the natural reaction be like, oh, like, sorry, like, you know what I mean? Like, to end what you're doing? They did it spot on perfectly in the show, just like the book. He's kissing Leghair. He looks and sees Claire, and he keeps right on kissing Leghair. And my question is, why does he keep going? Is he trying to make her jealous? Like, is he trying to get a rise out of her to see if she cares?
See, and that's why I always thought that moment was kind of like, even in the books, sorry, spoiler, was, and that's why I'm saying, like, I didn't think that she was all, like, in a pissy mood in the books. She thought it was kind of funny in the books. That, like, he was just kind of like, gotta strike while the iron is hot, y'all. And she's like, yeah, I getcha.
Well, it's also, when we were reading the books, very, it's Diana Gabaldon playing cat and mouse with the two of them to pique your interest. I mean, at that point, my blood was boiling in the books because I was like, God, don't forget in the books, they're questioning whether or not Hamish is his kid too.
Right.
So at this point, you're like, okay, this guy might be Hamish's father. He 1 minute isn't paying any attention to Leghair and walking Claire back to her surgery. The next minute, he's making out with Leghair. Like, what's this guy's damage?
But don't forget in the books, and again, when you go into your first read of the book, I mean, in a perfect world where you know nothing about the book, at this point, Jamie's just one of the guys. Jamie's just another. It's Angus, Rupert, Jamie.
It's just another whole-loving ass.
Because don't forget, we've talked about this in other videos. At this point, and again, because the book is coming at it from Claire's point of view, so you're only hearing what she's saying. The book, Claire, is like, she's kind of like, oh, Dougal, he's so powerful. Oh, Colum, he's such a laird. Oh, Dougal, he's so strong. But with Jamie, all the description of Jamie is like, oh, then there's Jamie, the little lad. Oh, the lad was quite, bonny with the horses, or this or that, whatever. She, whether it's because she really feels that way, or whether, and this is what I tend to think, she's more of an unreliable narrator, and she's trying to, like, she does feel something for him, but she doesn't, it's like when you're in high school, and you're like, nuh-uh, I don't like him, or you're in grade school more, like when you're in, like, 6th grade. I don't like, blah-blah, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Nuh-uh. That's how she's being to us, the reader, in the books.
Right.
So that's why, because it did in the show, the whole, like, her seeing Jamie making out with, like, Leghair seemed to upset her a lot more. But then she's like, well, no, it didn't. It just made me think of Frank more. That was a kind of weird moment. That voiceover was a kind of weird one for me.
Tracey, their intimacy bothered
I mean, come on. That voiceover.
I almost didn't understand
Wait. Let's just.
I almost didn't understand that because I thought your intimacy is making you think of Frank.
Now, that voiceover could have gone right like that.
All right, we need to step this up.
All right, now.
Dude,
who's the one who has to get up at 6:00 in the morning because they're going away?
That would be me. We're already at 51 minutes. We're going to lose people at this point.
No, we're never going to lose people for being too long.
Okay.
Anyway, so she goes, so Dougal takes her. I'm sorry, what? What?
I was just saying.
All right, go.
So, and is it this point that they go to Geillis's?
No, they go to Gaillis's.
Right. Dougal sees her crying.
Yes.
And she'll go to Gaillis's.
Yes.
Then they have the shot of who I think is Rupert.
You're asking me?
I thought, okay, well, are they gonna do something with that? Is he gonna go running back to Jamie? What's? But nothing. So they go.
I'm watching that part right now.
I'm sorry.
And yeah, I don't get that.
Geillis. They go to Geillis's. And that was kind of interesting. Oh my God, how did you like the scene with Geillis' husband tooting all
That was hilarious.
Nightmare.
She was great. I like her. I do.
It was a total flatulation nightmare.
Yeah. Oh my God. I think.
How about at one point the sound effects? I thought I was listening to Howard Stern.
Oh, but you knew it was coming. Come on. When she's like, he's either costive or flatulent or whatever he said. You knew that was coming. You knew that as soon as she gave him whatever she was going to give him.
Boyfriend needs some activity.
Now Claire has the awesome coat with the fur collar on again. I want all of these clothes. I hope they come out with the Outlander collection of clothes at like Nordstrom or something. That would be awesome.
So that was very interesting. The entire scene, Geillis is just trying to like squeeze it out of her because Geillis totes knows. She just totally knows what's going on.
She knows something's up.
Yep, every single thing Claire says, she like tries to, play devil's advocate or just like squeeze info out of her, and she's not getting it. She's not getting it.
I don't think that Geillis thinks that Claire. Do you think Geillis thinks that Claire is an English spy? Thinks that's her secret?
No, I don't think that Geillis. I'm saying it how I say it. I'm not going to just change after 5 years. I think that Geillis is trying to squeeze it out of Claire to find out if she's a time traveler.
Spoiler.
Oops.
What?
What am I going to do?
All right. Anywho.
I have a feeling this entire video is going up just as is. Warning in the beginning that it's full of spoilers.
I didn't know how to do the spoiler alert.
I got a text today from my niece saying my friend Mare, my niece Caitlin emailed me and said my friend Mare is watching, but she's read most of the book but isn't finished yet, and where should she stop watching or whatever. So I have to crack up that people are really thinking this way. You know what I mean?
I know.
So Jamie shows up and talk about saved by the Scot, because she is like, he's starting to really pump her, and then Jamie shows up, and I thought that was a little strange that Geillis is like, hey, Jamie.
Here's a glass of port.
Yeah, we're going to talk to Claire about this and that.
Oh, Jamie, stable boy, come have a glass of port with us. And Jamie's like, yeah, no. But
Jamie's like, no, and I love that because he knew right away. He's like, get her out of here. But then again, it's Geillis, so he knows get her out of here. Spoiler. And then the kid with the ear. Now, I want you all to know this is where Outlander sort of lost the third sister. I found video last night on my computer that I have to post of all of us out to dinner.
Oh, okay.
Discussing, and
wait, that's on YouTube,
No, it's a different one. That was a few years back. I have this year's.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And you have video of it?
Because Tom is discussing Outlander, and I'm taping this whole thing and giving you, like, the winks, like, got Tom on camera. And then Jill's like, well, I was reading it, and then I got to the little boy with the ear, and they lost me.
No, I put that on YouTube, I swear to God.
No, you put the other dinner where Pat's R was saying she would read the book, and you and I were like, what? And Chicken Dad, we were, no.
All right.
All right, so anyway. So Jane, they get outside. I thought that was so well done. It's one of my favorite scenes. The kid.
Yeah, that was very good.
I thought it was so well done. And they timed it so perfectly with Jamie, with Claire pretending to faint. But Tom and I also realized they show Geillis looking out the window. And Tom, Hubster, says, like, he whatever he said made me realize there could be other people looking out the window, too. I never thought about that. I guess it doesn't really matter, but kind of interesting to think about. Mm-hmm. Did you like it?
I thought it was great. The one thing, isn't that where he really starts calling her Sassenach?
I swore, and I need to go back and read this. I think I mentioned this last week. I thought that was when she realized his name wasn't McTavish. Because I thought she said something in that scene and went, Mr. McTavish, and he never turned around. And she was like... I think she's... When he does say something along the lines of, you'll have realized my name's no McTavish. But I thought he said it in the book where he said it like last week. I thought that was pretty accurate. I like that scene. I like that scene because it really is kind of like a watershed moment for them a little bit, because I think that's really where they go from being like sort of dancing around, like being sort of formal and polite, to being like, yeah, we're buds. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, we're buds.
Yeah. All
Okay,
right.
I can totally trust you.
So then they go back, and Claire saves the little boy, which I thought was a fantastic scene once again. No.
No. You skipped a lot. You skipped.
They go to the Black Kirk. Right after they leave, they go to the Black Kirk.
You skipped the whole Walter White scene.
You're going to have to go on with this video without me. This is like the longest video ever. What Walter White scene? Me up as this is going on. It's really humid here, and the curls are starting as I'm talking, and all I can think of is you and the Claire hair.
No, the Walter White scene is that they're at the Kirk, right? And I loved Jamie's whole thing of like, well, I'm an educated man and I know all this, so I've had tutors and been taught this, but I'm also a Highlander and I hear these stories and I'm not gonna like diss, my people or whatever. I loved. I loved that whole thing. I love that whole thing. But then Claire's like, wait, what is this? This leaf? It's not, wood garlic. No, it's Lily of the Valley. And I was like, oh, clearly you saw Breaking Bad when, like... and the reason I know that it's Lily of the Valley is because Walter White used the same thing to try to poison Jesse's girlfriend's son.
How did I miss that? How did I miss that?
I thought it right away.
Such a great discovery. That was awesome.
Right away. I was like, and then I wanted her to call somebody bitch, but whatever. So anyway, so then they come back,
Give
and
her time.
I know, right? Then that Father Bane, he is nasty.
He is such a delicious character.
And he just doesn't like Claire now. Oh, I think he is filling the village with all sorts of talk about her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, totally.
He's gonna be leading the charge.
Yeah.
But that was very cool to see Claire save that kid.
Yes. And again, another spoiler, another change in the books. Well, not really even spoiler, because we sort of talked about this. Another change for the books, but I think it works. Because again, when they do this in Game of Thrones, I'm always like, the book and the show always get from point A, the same point A to the same point B. Sometimes the book goes this way and the show goes this way, but they always get from here to here. And I think they needed to sort of tell the story of how the people are suspicious of that Claire is like a witch or has demonic powers or whatever. And they didn't tell it exactly the same way in the book as they did in the show, but they told the story, no matter what.
Okay.
And now here's this little scene with Jamie and Claire with the horse. Oh my God, Jamie loves her so much already. He loves her. He just totally loves her. Oh.
I love that she's falling for him and she doesn't know it.
Yeah. But that's that's pretty much the same thing in the books, like we've been saying. Like it's totally 6th grade. Like, I do not like him. Okay, I really do.
That whole scene of her having to decide. Oh, spoiler coming.
Okay.
Her having to decide whether or not she's going to stay or go is just going to be mind-blowing.
Oh my God, I know.
Wouldn't you think that's how they would end the first half of the season?
It's not, though.
I would think you would end it there.
Now, I've heard that...
see them cruising off to Lollybrock, and then you'd start the next date with Lollybrock.
I've heard that they're doing it where he comes to rescue her at
Yeah, because the wedding is episode 7, isn't it?
The wedding is until next time. No, I'm sorry. Don't panic. Yes, it is this time.
The wedding is episode 7.
The decision she has to make is the next time.
Tracey, there's no way it's going to go spoiler alert.
Just a big fat spoiler thing.
Yeah.
There might be book spoilers here.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to talk about this last part where she goes in, she's getting some Rhenish, she has her hair down.
I noticed that too.
Jamie takes her hand, and I'm watching it now, leads her now to sit next to him.
And wasn't he like a little boy? He was so excited, like, to get her and bring her over there, and oh my god.
I'm telling you, because they're friends now.
I
They're
know,
buds.
but I love how much he loves to share with her.
And the other thing is that he loves her.
He loves to, like, teach her about.
I know.
I guess they decided to not go there with Hamish, wondering if Hamish is his kid. Because that's never come up.
Spoiler. Well, but it hasn't yet, I don't think. That comes a little bit later. Like, maybe the next episode. Now, I have to ask, though, what did you think about this? This was a change that the change was that the singer, harpy guy, whatever, when Jamie's translating, he's like, okay, this is a song about, like, some stones that have magical powers, and they, like, make noises, and this girl hears them, and, like, she totally puts her hands on them, and then she's, like, blasted through time, and she, like, meets a hot guy, and, like, they totally have, great sex, and then she, like, totally, like, goes back to the stones, and goes back through to her, like, old guy. And Claire's like, oh, really? That's what it's about?
Claire's like, what's it, that baby? Stop! Gotta go.
But I mean, that's a very different thing. Like, I kind of was like, okay, was that, like...
Because when did he tell her about the 200 years?
Well, no, he didn't even. She did. She's like, it always... this is all just spoiler. When she's talking about...
I couldn't remember.
She says, it's always 200 years. The stories are always 200 years. I just, like, that was a little strange. Okay, we have to talk a little bit. I'm sorry to be so ADD here, but, like, there was this, like, totally adorable image in her mind of Frank, coming upon her when she's back from the stones. And he was just...
She has her wrap back.
I know. And her dress back, that's clean.
With the little pearl. I never noticed the little pearl.
I know. But what did you think of that? Like, what did you think? Was it a little obvious to you, this whole story that Jamie's telling? And she's like, oh my god, that's exactly what happened to me. Like, so, like, then when she goes, when he finally finds out, if he does, spoiler, she's just going to be like, yeah, remember that story you told me? It's totally true because it happened to me. Like, I don't know. I just, that was a little weird to me. I'm okay with it. What?
What is your concern?
It's not really concern. It was just kind of like... It's kind of like, did he, like... I mean, yes, the old tales and legends, say something about, like, magic standing stones, but do the old tales and legends say, like, exactly what happened to her?
And then she hit the big stone, and the whole world spun around, and she woke up in her white dress with a little pearl, and she got up, and she left her wrap on the ground.
Do you know what I mean?
I think, but again, it's one of those things where they have to tell the audience what the hell's going on in any way they possibly can. And I'll tell you, I don't know that people, especially people who haven't read the books, are really going to remember exactly that whole story from the song exactly. They're going to remember that this woman in the folk tale went through the stones and was able to go back again. And that's really, I think, all they're going to take from that.
It was just a little, I guess it was a little odd. It was kind of like, wait. Like, if I'm Claire, I'm like, wait, that happens all the time? Really? Wait, did it happen to you? Have you tried it? Can you take me to Craignadoon?
Mrs. Fitz is actually
I don't know.
Mrs. Fitz was my neighbor years ago. Tom thinks Mrs. Fitz is the best casting on the show.
Mrs. Fitz, don't you play Mrs. Patmore on Downton Abbey?
I was just going to say, Mrs. Fitz, that was my line. Mrs. Fitz, I I think I said that when we were tweeting last week. And Mrs. Fitz is Mrs. Patmore.
I know, she's totally Mrs. Patmore. All right, I have to go to bed because I'm really tired. But so it was a really good episode. It was a really good episode. It was a very nice, like, Jamie and Claire moving forward episode. You know, I think they're very familiar with each other by now. They're really friends. I think Claire feels like she's kind of feeling comfortable now. You know, I think she's starting to like people, and people, you know, respect her. And
yeah, I have to say that I loved tonight's episode because just so much went down. The one thing about a series like this, I keep seeing it as someone who hasn't read the books. Ultimately, I see it as someone who's read the books, but every once in a while, I get this jolt of, oh my God, I feel like I'm just learning about all of this for the first time, which is really telling of what a great job they're doing. Mm-hmm. And I have this thought process about, like, different series and what they do, and the more times in one episode that they can make you go, oh, shut up, that makes for a good series. Yeah. And this tonight there were so many different facets. There were so many different, this happened, but this happened, but this happened, but this happened. And they were all a big deal. Yeah, yeah. To think about it, to the non-fan, I mean, so many things in this episode would have been, oh my God. But then they threw in the funny stuff, like, you know, Geillis' husband farting all over the place. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That was hilarious. Mm-hmm. And Rupert, Angus, Rupert, like Channing Tatum, Channing, whatever the hell his name is, just really bad.
Oh my God, there's a T-shirt there somewhere. Like, I don't know what it is yet, but like, hi, I'm, you know, Angus Rupert, like insert name here, or something like that. I don't know, but I never thought that Murtagh would seem like the most intelligent out of all of them. Well, I gotta tell you, if you line them all up, I think I could pick Murtagh out of the lineup, but the other two, no, it's not happening. It's not happening.
Stick with me, kid.
All right. Okay, so we will see everybody next week for episode 4 of Outlander. And have a good week. We'll see everyone. I won't be at chat on Monday. Carol will be taking chat by herself.
50% through Moby. Did you see my post? Can we have a quick little? I guess we can't talk Moby.
No, we have to talk. We have to talk. We have to talk, have like a whole. You're only 50%.
I guess someone hasn't been reading the blog.
Oh, you have a new Moby post up now?
I certainly did.
Oh, well, I was busy today. We moved. Oh, we were talking about our nephew last week. Well, we moved him into his new dorm this week.
They do not need to know.
It's good, but I was really busy. And I'm busy at work,
so all I do is hit the square button in the middle.
Yeah, but we have to say goodbye first.
All right, everyone.
So, all right, have a good week. We'll see you next week. Bye.